So when you're getting ready to tow your Pbbt machine, this is usually going to be the configuration that's going to be left for you, unless it's already been previously set up, obviously. But this is kind of the towing configuration right here. So as you can see, we have the ramps and the flat sections securely tied down. We're using the attached attachment points, or the included attachment points. Make sure you have some really good kind of straps and everything, some strong ones. Make sure you use the edge protectors as well, okay? So anyway, stack it on up there. Use the friction pads that should have come with the machine as well, or if you don't have those, get some, put those under there as well. Make sure it's securely attached. Cotter pins in, the little pins in here, and I'll show you how to take those out as well. So this is going to be the configuration that you're usually going to find it in. Be aware, normally it's going to be stored with the wheels on the ground, taking some pressure off of the hydraulic rams that lift the machine up. So this is going to be the configuration, and next thing we're going to do is obviously we're going to lift the machine up in order to attach it to our truck. So let's get doing on that. So here we're going to take a look at the forward starting position. So open up the door, drop it down. Behind here you're going to have the same controls pretty much on any of the Viz Pbbt machines. Alternator light warning, oil pressure warning, water temperature, RPMs with an hour gauge. Make sure you maintain that hour gauge and make sure you maintain your maintenance schedules. Deck lights for as far as lights on the machine. Power on and off button, the main power button. Glow plug start, engine speed slow or fast. Trailer lift up and down. Hookups for your computer and hand controller. Emergency power off button, just plunge that and the machine will shut down immediately. And a 12-volt accessory outlet. So to start the machine, put the power on, put the glow plugs on, the light will come on, light will go out, and then over to the start position. Once you start the machine, you can put it in slow or fast, whatever you want to. You can warm it up and fast if you want to. Run it in the slow position, the machine will ramp up manually by itself, or automatically, sorry, by itself. So we're going to start the machine and we'll get it going. So glow plugs on. Wait a few seconds, maybe a bit longer if it's cold out, and then to the start position. And then we go back to the slow position, and the machine is ready to go. So, to lift the machine, we're going to open up the door. Come to our control panel like I showed you. We're going to go power on, glow plug start, and we're going to start the machine. Next thing we're going to do, because it's going to be a little bit noisy, so I want to make sure you guys can understand what I'm going to say before I start the machine up. Once the machine is running, you're going to go to slow or fast speed, doesn't matter. I usually lift it on fast speed. And then we're going to go trailer up, which is going to obviously lift the machine. Once it's in the lifted position, I usually go to the slow speed, just so I don't have to have this thing running at a high speed. So we're going to start it. Speed switch to fast, and then I'm going to hit the up switch. So as you see, the machine lifted up. Once the rams are in their fully up position, there's going to be a noticeable change in the engine pitch on the machine. That's usually just telling that the hydraulic pump is kind of straining because it can't lift it anymore, right? That's pretty much the spot where you know that the rams are all the way up. So for us, I just shut the machine off. The machine is in the up position so I can get my truck under it, my tow hitch, and we'll get going as far as hooking that up. So let's look at the towing end of the Pbbt. So what we have here, this is basically a little dolly wheel. If you want to use this wheel, what you'll do is you'll loosen these up. There are these slots in here. This will open up all the way, just loosen them completely. It has the appropriate slots in this collar, or this basically the shaft here. Those will kind of go in. You'll see the raised sections will go into these little slots. Tighten it all the way down. You can then lift the machine with this handle here, which rotates around, and that lifts the shaft up. There's going to be a little jock, kind of like it's called a jockey wheel, but there's going to be a bar that's also going to attach to this, and they'll show you that when you first get your Viz machine. You can then dolly the machine around and kind of get it into a tighter spot or a better angle, just incremental adjustments as far as the placement of the machine. I really don't use this very much. I just like to back it in right the first time and get it where I want it to be. So as far as the towing end of the machine, here's what we have. So obviously we have our safety chains. Don't forget to put those on. Our emergency breakaway lanyard as well. And then of course our trailer connection cable. So I got to adjust the electrical tape on here evidently. There's also a little parking brake here as well. You lift that to set the parking brake on the wheels as well. On the actual hitch assembly type deal, you're going to have this ball here. This little lever here is going to be pushed in and then drop down, and then it goes into this section here. That locks the actual towing assembly into your ball on your truck. This little hole here is used for a padlock where you can put that in so that they can't steal your Pbbt machine, right? So you can just pop it through here, a little padlock through here. So anyway, to get it in the towing configuration, make sure this is up. This is locked into place. And now we're just going to back our truck into the Pbbt machine. So once your truck's in position, we're going to start up the machine. Go to a lower speed. Now we're just going to drop down the trailer on the hitch. Sometimes it isn't quite on there. Just going to give it a little tug. And now we're ready to go. We're going to just drop it down even more. Okay, trailer's all the way down. So the rams are all the way up. We're going to shut the machine off. Close up our door. And now we're going to do our standard trailer connections. So as far as our hookups, as far as for the Pbbt, same as any standard trailer if you've ever towed one. Just make sure you hook up your safety chains. And your emergency breakaway. Next thing, we're going to hook up our power supply for our lighting system. And then the next thing we're going to do is drop the plunger. This is going to lock the ball into the ball receiver. So lift up a little bit, drop it down. Once this little latch assembly is kind of over this little locking mechanism, you're good to go. Make sure everything's secure, things are nice and tight, everything's good to go. Make sure you do a walk around of the truck. Obviously, check the lights on the truck and the trailer, and you are good to go. So prior to departing with your Pbbt, just do your standard trailer walk around check, right? Make sure lights are all good, everything looks good on your truck. Coming down the truck to the actual connection point, everything looks good to go, everything's secure, everything's hooked up. Doors are all locked in place, latches are all down, any accessories are securely attached to the machine. Obviously make sure these are all nice and tight, your ramps are on there real good, cotter pins are in. Coming over here, there's going to be the axle hold downs or the axle locks. Make sure they're in the correct position. I can show you that a little bit later as far as how to operate those. Make sure they're locked in position though. So tie downs are good, edge protectors are in. Walking around, looking at our lighting assembly, everything looks good. Lights are good, lights are all working, rear door's closed, everything looks good. Walking around the other side, good to go. So we're ready to hit the road.